We've got a cat spirit over here. He's our guardian for the night.
I don't take my shoes off. That doesn't sound like clomping. I'm gonna put this dollar.
I wonder if anything would happen if you took like money from
yeah,
here.
I would not be brave enough to do that. That would be a no-no.
Hmm.
Do that in general, but especially not in a haunted house. Take it from a. I like how somebody put money right in his hand. That's kind of funny.
That's pretty good. I'd like to know what was in that corner over there. That's where the cat was like literally staring at in that corner.
Right there.
Oh, I know. I was like, what is the deal with that?
Man, that is. TJ was saying he had something. He found something on his foot out there.
Oh yeah, like right here. Alec.
Yeah.
Alright, come on.
We've got the REM pod over here. It's this big old red box.
So what's that gonna do?
If you want to touch the top of it.
Here, I haven't turned it on.
Oh, we haven't turned
Sorry.
it on.
Wait,
Hold
don't
up.
touch it yet.
Hold up, energy. Not yet. Let's turn the REM pod on. There we go. We gotta calibrate it. If you want to cross this little barrier over here and do that, we'll hear you.
The heck is that?
That's the REM pod.
Sheesh.
Cat is still just licking itself.
Yeah, just like that. Yeah. You'd like to.
I'm just grooming away.
God, that feels
Oh, my camera doesn't want to focus. Oh. Nope. It keeps going in and out. It will not focus.
Right.
Come play with the REM
little
pod.
face chef from the movie Grave Encounters that you sent. Oh my god. That would probably cause me to jump up and get a nail in my head like real quickly.
Yeah, that'd be pretty wild.
I'm really surprised that no one's had their head hidden.
Thank you so much. Can you step away from that for a minute? Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
Oh, it should be brand new in there. Everything should be. I just don't know how to open the.
Are you wanting to come in here with us?
It's zoomed out. We're good now.
Thank you for
Thank you.
setting that off for us.
I don't know who you are,
Taking his hand.
Right.
Downstairs and.
but I'm Kaylina. This is TJ and Alec.
Hello.
Speaking of REM pod.
Thank you for...
Hold on, Kayla. I don't know if the flashlight's gonna help her.
That's exactly what we want you to do. Thank you so much. Anytime you touch that, it'll let us know that you're here.
So fucking cool. Oh man, this is sweet.
This is sweet.
He's like, this is
I'm
sweet.
kidding the canister right now. I love it.
Thank you. You've made our
Dollar's
whole
going
night.
a long way right now.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
So I'm guessing that red thing down there is the.
Yeah. Is that the new picture?
Are those orbs on the top, or is that just? Oh no, there's. Because I saw those little balls up here.
Mm-hmm.
That's not an orb, is it?
I don't think there's any lights in there. Is there?
No.
Well, what is these two balls over here to the right? Is there something on the ceiling over there?
I don't know. I don't think so. Can I see?
Yeah.
There are.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's those.
there are.
Okay.
Yep.
See, you got cool little...
See, look to the right.
Come on, you can do it. Make it light up. Like Christmas.
No? Is that what it said?
Touch that red light. See that thing on the floor?
You were doing so good before.
It is. It's fine.
There you go. There you go.
There you go. You're doing it.
Good job.
Come on.
You've got this.
Come on. Doing a great job. Reverend Kelly, are you here? Is that you, Reverend Kelly? EMF. It's
There you
spiking.
go. Can you do the EMF? The green light, please?
Go to the green light.
Can you show us the green light? Can you spike it up to red or yellow? I know you've got the REM pod down. Can you go to the green light? That other light that's on the floor. No? Okay. Well, you're doing good. That is nuts. He's just standing there.
He's like staring at it. Oh, the cat. Is that the cat?
Is that the cat? Where's the cat? No? Cat's not there.
He's like staring out at us for a while now.
What, the cat?
No, the whatever spirit's right there.
Yeah, whatever spirit's right there. Good job. You're doing great.
This is so mind-blowing.
Oh.
Now, here's what we need to
I'm
do.
highly impressed.
I need to put that on a stand and make sure that there's something not underfoot. Like
Yeah.
that there is a bug. I'm coming out here, okay?
Okay. All right. We're going to step out for a minute, give you some space. We do have this recording, so if you would like to just pass by the camera or show yourself off a little bit more, you are welcome to.
That's perfect.
We're going to just leave you alone
We're
for a
going to
little
give you
bit
a little bit. And
to do your thing, okay? We appreciate you so much, what you've already done. All right, we'll be back in a little bit. I got body chills again.
Okay.
This is just...
I don't know if you like going first or last.
Sit down and have fun. That is so pretty.
I know. I'm like,
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much.
We'll be back.
We'll be right back, okay? Feel free to walk around the camera for us. Good job. Thank you so much. It's like it was falling. Yes, thank you. Thank you. We're going to just step out for a minute, okay? See, I actually don't think it's that bad.
Really?
Mm-mm.
It's pretty hot. But I have a hat on, so that kind of...
Got the creepy flashlight on.
Yeah, so that'll definitely rattle. to store most of these chimes. Surprised that doesn't have chimes on it.
Some pictures.
Roll it down the stairs. Roll that ball down the stairs if you can. Push it.
Still out into the hallway. Can you move it towards one of us? Move one of the rods towards one of us. There you go. There you go. Good job. Good job. Good job. That's TJ. Good job. Very good. Very, very good. Yep, that's me. That's me. Can you move it back to the hallway, please? Yep, that's where you're at.
Nice.
Good job. Move it back to the hallway.
I feel like we're playing with Mace right now.
Move the left one. There you go. Good job. Good job. Very good job. Perfect. Very, very well done. Thank you so much.
You know, you ain't so bad as they say. You're a good spirit, aren't you?
Yeah, are you a good spirit?
You're a good spirit.
Can you uncross them if you are a good spirit? Really? You're crossing them more? Really?
Uncross them. You're a good spirit.
Really? I said uncross if you're a good spirit. Oh, you're pointing back towards Brandon again?
Oh, you know you want to be good. Who's a good spirit?
You're parallel now. If you're a good spirit, can you please uncross these? There you go. Come on.
You can do it.
You got
Everyone
it.
can change.
There you go. Good job. Good job. Good job. Thank you.
If I can change, you can change.
You're doing amazing. You are a very intelligent spirit. Yes. Oh, thank you for pointing back at me. Yep. Yep.
Where's that Polaroid?
I appreciate the communication. Okay, can you point this away from me, please? Please point the right, there you go. Good job. Right away from me. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good job. You're doing amazing. All right, can you step away from the REM pod, please? Step away. Yep, I know you know how to use that. Thank you.
Nicely done.
Good job. Good job.
Round of applause.
Woo! There you go. There you go. You're doing it. Okay, you're kind of pointing at me a little bit. You're moving it a little bit. Okay.
Point.
There you go. Okay. Yep. Okay. Can you move it to somebody else? Can you move the rods somewhere else? Can you move them to TJ or Alec?
I am TJ on the bed.
TJ's on the bed. Alec's on this other bed to the right of Brandon. See, he's not moving it now.
That thing is just going ham out there.
Can you move the rods to show us where you're at? Where are you right now?
Come up here and move these copper rods, please.
I'm telling you, they don't like you. They don't like you.
This guy doesn't believe in you. We believe in you, though.
Yep. Okay.
That's how you do it when you move it like that.
Huh?
Nothing.
No, I wasn't moving them. Trust me.
I was one. Yeah, she won.
Yeah, I was not moving them.
Are you currently behind Alec?
What's your favorite thing to do in this house?
Fuck. Yeah. God. Brandon, go fucking do it. The hairs on the back of my neck were standing like.
Okay, can you step away from that for a minute? Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna sit here. Okay. You can communicate with me.
Make sure it's not the cat first.
May not
The cat in there?
Fuck, dude, that's so
hurt
fucking
me,
creepy.
possess me, scratch me, none of that, okay? We're just having a conversation. Feel free to touch the green light or any of the balloons.
Or the back of Kayla's neck.
Stop. No. You gonna be quiet now?
Tell us you're here.
I feel like this is a different spirit.
Do you want me to sit in the chair?
Yeah, it's like completely quiet now.
Like there, the second, like it was like the energy shifted right behind me. I was like, "Fuck."
That's
Are you in the attic?
All my hairs on my legs all went up. Oh, Jesus, Brandon.
Is it going on?
Yeah.
Yes, it's in the attic.
Yeah, he literally
Okay,
just
good
said.
job. You're in the attic. Can you step away from the REM pod, please? Thank you.
Oh my god.
Thank you, thank you.
This is fucking nuts.
Just feel like there's a presence back there.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
Oh, I bet.
I'm sure there is.
Are you the doll in the back attic?
Don't ask that. Are you the old man that is kind of judgy towards women? No? Okay.
Are you from Villisca?
Are you a non-human entity?
Are you a child?
Okay. Okay. That's okay. Good job. Thank you.
Check and see if the cat's next to it.
No.
You
Good
look-
job. Thank you. Thank you.
You looked and it turned.
Are you a little boy?
Are you a little girl?
It's just me in here right now. It's fucking creepy in here. So fucking creepy. Alright, I'm gonna go check out this room over here.
Okay, so I wanted to just talk a little bit more about our experience at the Villisca Ax Murder House and just talk about some of the things that we experienced, some of the things that happened, and honestly, that was way more than I even ever expected it to be. In fact, up until that night, I mean, I've had spirit experiences, but they've always been very subtle and where I just instinctively know it's a spirit encounter, but no indefinite kind of proof. And 2 nights ago, that just blew my mind completely. And just the reaction that we got, as you probably saw from the video, between the dowsing rods and especially the REM pod, I mean, that was just, it was so cool. I can't even tell you how cool it was actually being there and have that kind of interaction with the spirit, because all my other interactions have been fairly low-key. So yeah, as far as the spirits go, I truly feel like we were talking to potentially 4 different spirits throughout the night. our first spirit was immensely intelligent. It was the one that talked to us the longest through all the REM pods and the dowsing rods. I feel like it was very much the same spirit who was talking with us through all of that. I really couldn't say if it was a non-human entity or a human entity. I couldn't sense what it was. I feel like it was potentially a non-human entity, and it was so funny because our guide, who was extremely nice, by the way, he was telling us kind of all about the house previously, and I wish I'd had my camera at that point because I definitely would have put that in there as well. But I was not recording at that moment because it literally happened right when we got there before we even unloaded any of our stuff. But he was talking to us a lot about the spirits that he personally feels like are there, and he actually didn't think that any of the family members that had gotten murdered were there. And I agree with him. I really did not sense that they were there. I mean, I don't know what their presence would have felt like, but I did not feel like they were there. And I don't feel like the murderer was there. And I know that a lot of people have come out of that house with like kind of scary encounters. Ours could not have been more opposite. And I don't know if that's because, you know, I'm a witch and I definitely connect with the spirit realm quite a bit, or at least I feel like the big thing with spirits is respect. And so like right when we got there, of course the guide was telling us about the house and stuff and what he thought was there. And you know, I straight up asked him, I'm like, is this kind of more a like demonic like entity? And he was even like, well, I'm not sure if demon is the right qualification for this spirit. He said it's, you know, it's powerful. I know that. And I also agreed with him on that. Like none of us felt like oppressed or like weird or felt like in danger at all that whole night. And I mean, we were in complete darkness quite a bit. And we were not feeling comfortable doing that in like any of the other houses. Now, of course, we're getting more comfortable with it as we go along too, so that might play into it as well. But this spirit was not, I mean, I feel like it could have been threatening if it wanted to be, but it was actually pretty playful with us. Like we felt brushes against our legs and stuff like that, and like pinpricks kind of as if there was something there, but it was never once violent in any kind of nature. And I think it helped. I went in with protection, but I did not go in with as much protection as the past because I really did want to have communication with these spirits, but not be, you know, harmed or injured in any way. And so I did go in with my typical little pentagram necklace with my snake spirit attached to it. And I did clear all the energy from it and recharge it with clove and nettle for protection purposes. Called in my two strong animal spirits, my snake and my hawk, and then I also called in, well, he's mostly Kira's spirit guide, but Connor, I think I've talked about him before, but he always talks to me through the number 42. And funny enough, driving to work that morning I had asked him if he would come along with us and just kind of watch out for us. And driving to work, literally in the back of a pickup truck was this piece of paper with a giant 42 on it. Giant 42. So I'm like, that is no coincidence. He heard me. He was along for the ride. I know he was, because he's just a presence. He's always kind of there, which I always appreciate because he's a very cool spirit. But so he was along for the ride, and who knows? We could have been talking to him, and it didn't even like click until after the fact that it might have been him interacting with us. I'm not sure. I feel like it was probably a non-human entity of sorts, but I think people just naturally get freaked out when they hear a non-human entity because they just assume, oh, it's a demon. But especially if there had been a murder, several murders in the house, obviously, I think people just associate that there's evil there. But I'm telling you, we just did not feel negative energy. And like once the guide had left, I went upstairs to kind of just sit on the floor, kind of tune in a little bit without the other boys there. I was just talking to whatever was there, and I definitely feel like something was listening and just setting the terms, you know, saying that we were open to communication, but that, you know, possession, harm of any nature, was not allowed. They were not allowed to attach themselves to us, and just kind of set the boundaries, not in any disrespect, but in a sternness, but also telling them that, you know, we appreciate them letting us be there and that we respect them, and that as long as they respect us, we're gonna respect them, and just kind of set that boundary line. I'm telling you, it made the world of difference, because I just feel like there is this mutual respect there throughout the whole night. And of course, all of us, we go in and we just don't taunt. We don't like taunting the spirits, which I know there's lots of groups out there that do. They're not getting any activity, and so they decide that they're just going to taunt the spirit to, you know, get some kind of reaction out of them. And I honestly feel like that is dumb. That is so dumb. I mean, do what you will, do what you want. I mean, it's your safety at stake, but whatever was there, I could tell it was a powerful energy, but because we all had mutual respect for each other, it wasn't violent in nature. I feel like it definitely could have been if it wanted to be, but it actually took a very playful approach with us. And I mean, it was really interacting with us for a long while. And then finally, I think it got maybe kind of bored of us, which I don't blame. We kept asking it to do the 1,000 rods and the REM pod. And I mean, I don't even remember us asking like very specific questions as far as the murders go. We were just so shocked and surprised that we were actually getting like really good evidence that we just were kind of in awe, asking it to move the rods just in random directions or telling us where it was. And it wasn't very like specific to the murders. And honestly, I'm kind of glad the guy told us that he didn't feel the presence of any of the people who had gotten murdered there, because otherwise we may have wasted our time trying to talk to something that wasn't there. And I agree with him. I just don't think their spirits had gotten trapped there for whatever reason. But it was interesting because like the Sally house, this house, and some other locations all have very similar addresses. And so there definitely is some kind of connection. I don't know if it's a portal, I don't know what it is, or some kind of psychic highway. I'm not sure. I have no answer to that, but there is definitely a linked connection. And there is obviously a linked connection with like children, a little girl's spirit of sorts, you know, that all very mimic each other in a very similar, eerie way. So I'm not saying that there aren't negative spirits. We just personally, I don't think came in contact with any of them last night. And I know they can say that, you know, if a negative spirit wants to kind of trick you into feeling comfortable, then they can do that. But I mean, I feel like at some point last night we would have felt kind of threatened, and I never once felt that way, and neither did anybody else. And like the McIntyre Villa, although we didn't have hardly any spirit connection at all, we were feeling physical like things, especially Alec, he was feeling a lot of physical things of just feeling sick. Or in the one room I was feeling like a headache sensation because the guy had shot himself in the head. So we got a lot of physical impressions there, which obviously you can't really put onto a video very well, which is why that one was a lot of just kind of talking about it. But this one, whatever we were talking with at first, just was really receptive to speaking with us, which I really appreciated. It was really, really cool. So you probably see on the video saying, oh, thank you, thank you. Like we were so excited, like little kids in a candy store, because we were finally getting some kind of reaction. And I think we all kind of went in, like I definitely believe in spirits. I believe in all of that. But you see these haunted videos by these other creators and it's just kind of like, is this real? How much of it is real? Is this just kind of all made up just for entertainment purposes? Like, we didn't really know. So we didn't know what to expect. In fact, we were betting on the different things that we thought were going to happen before when we went out to the diner. We're like, well, what are the chances of this and this and this and this happening? And it really did exceed our expectations. Highly recommend. So that was kind of the first spirit. The second spirit I personally felt was our guide did say that if nothing is happening, you can kind of, women in particular, can go upstairs and kind of yell at a man spirit and kind of like offend him in some ways, and then you're gonna feel kind of a man's entity. And I mean, I kind of joked around with offending him a little bit at first, but not to the point of anything that would have been really like upsetting or offensive. And But there were a couple times where I was completely in the dark, like alone in the kitchen, and I felt a presence, like a male presence behind me. And I literally thought Brandon had gotten up from the couch and had kind of was like walking behind me, and I turned and obviously nobody was there. So that happened twice, but it was more like just a presence feeling, like feeling almost like the pressure change in the air to be like heavier, as if there was somebody there but wasn't. But that only happened twice. And then there was another spirit towards the end of the night where our guide told us that to get some reactions, we could sit with our backs towards the attic and put like a REM pod behind us. And I think we were just briefly talking to some kind of child spirit. I don't think it was necessarily one of the children associated with the house. I don't even know if it was a child per se, but it didn't feel threatening. It just, and it was not really talking to us that much. Like it would just ring to let us know it was there, but then it just really wouldn't react after that. So that was a pretty quick interaction. And then lastly, I think there was towards the end of the night, we actually only stayed till about 1 o'clock, just because the interactions were becoming much more few and far in between, and we were all tired at that point because I think we were kind of all hyped up on the adrenaline of it, and it was starting to wear off. So we, wanted to maybe get home and, get some sleep for the next day. But I mean, we really did have an amazing experience there, and I would definitely go back there at some point just because we did get so much interaction right off the bat. So that last spirit energy, I feel like was more of just the typical impression of energy that was left behind, like some kind of spirit doing its routine, where we had the REM pod on the staircase and we were sitting in the living room, and it would just go off every so many minutes. We weren't really keeping track of it, but I think it was more of just something just doing its own thing, because when we were asking questions or whatever, the REM pod wasn't going off again. And then we were in the one bedroom that connected to the living room, all just sitting in there, and all of a sudden one of the cat balls we saw flashing in the balloon outside. So that happened. So I don't know if something was on purposely playing with it or just brushed into it. And it happened to go off in the living room by the chair where the guide was sitting. So I don't know, but that one didn't really seem to want to interact with us. It was just kind of there. So, which is why I kind of feel like it was just an impression left behind by somebody. But yeah, so I feel like 4 different spirit interactions at some point, but I definitely feel like that first one was probably a non-human one, and it was pretty intelligent. Like, it was really intelligent. I also feel like we had a cat guide there. The actual cat that was in the video, I named him Charlie. I don't know why I named him Charlie. I just felt like he was Charlie. And so I was calling him Charlie all night long. But I feel like he's an actual guide of some sort, because he was following us kind of all around, and he would sit with me in the attic when I was by myself, and he would just sit there. And then at one point, it was so funny, he was just sleeping in the chair next to me. We were in the attic, and he must have sensed something, because he darts up, he stares at the far left back corner for a couple seconds, he gets off the chair, he goes over, and he's looking around like he sees something, and then he's trying to paw at the air like he can see something that I can't see, and then whatever it was must have just gone away, and then he kind of stares a second longer, comes back over, and falls back to sleep on the chair next to me. So I'm like, that's such a cat thing. They're so in tune with the spirit realm that, I mean, every cat we've ever had would just do random things like stare at the corner, as if they can see something that we can't see. And I mean, I truly do believe that spirits are kind of all around us all the time, whether you're in a house, even if you think it's brand new, you're still inviting energies in from yourself, and the land spirits around, they kind of adapt to that home. So I feel like you can definitely have house spirits, and I know I have house spirits in our other house that have come about very, very much so, and they let us know that they're there. And they're not bad. They're not bad. They don't like arguing, but most of them are not this evil, demonic being. And so I like showing this side of, paranormal, because I feel like with witchcraft and stuff, you get people like talking about it, but not maybe necessarily going out and doing these experiences like in these haunted places. Or you get the true paranormal like investigators, but they oftentimes are just doing it for the scare value, and they're, you know, and then you get those kind of mixed ones where they are giving you the history of it, but then there's still kind of that feeling of, oh, whatever is there is just the impending doom. And it's like, well, yes, this house obviously had something really horrific happen in it. And I have a pretty good sixth sense when it comes to like bad energy and bad vibes, especially, you know, in people and stuff too. So, and obviously Alec feels things pretty strongly, but none of us felt like sick or in danger or threatened. So it wasn't, whatever was there with us, at least, it was either putting on a good show that wasn't violent or it truly wasn't, because it just felt very playful in nature, and like it loved when we encouraged it, like, oh, good job, you're doing so great, you know, like you could feel the energy of it, like it was happy that we were kind of encouraging it. So, and I feel like spirits don't get that a lot either. I mean, they get like thank yous and stuff, but it was probably feeding off of our excited energy. And I guess that's kind of the cool thing of, you know, those first few times when you are doing paranormal stuff and you are getting reactions and stuff, because it's so fresh and so new and you get that adrenaline rush and you're not used to it yet. And so it was cool. It was really cool, and I really liked it. And I mean, we did hear some scary stories from the guide where people had gotten almost kind of possessed in a way, where one guy literally stabbed himself with a knife, and another one tried to, like, I'm pretty sure cut his wrists with a knife. But I think both times they're alone at the house. And he did say that he felt like the victims were chosen because they maybe had lower mental, like they were in a lower place as far as mentally goes, like how they were feeling. So yeah, I mean, you want to go in with, you know, fairly good vibes, because yeah, I mean, if you bring in a bunch of negativity, you're going to draw that towards you, and vice versa. And so all of our energy was pretty positive. So I think that makes a world of difference. And he was telling us about how, so there were a lot of suspects that were involved, but obviously nobody got caught for it. I don't think any of the suspects were there either. I mean, I think the guy with the last name Mansfield, he was known to be a serial killer, and there were numerous murders that happened slightly before and after the fact that mimicked the same murder that happened at the Axe house. So I feel like it was probably him, just gut feeling. Obviously, we will never know. A lot of people thought it was the Reverend Kelly, because he kind of had like this thing for sex, and some of the women were found in precarious situations. I don't know. I don't know. I, for some reason, just don't feel like it was him. I think it was Mansfield. It very much felt like a serial killer kind of motive and not like a revenge case or anything like that. But I don't know. That's my personal opinion. Everybody has their different theories on it, and we're never going to know. We're probably never going to find out the truth. But why I brought the suspects up was because I guess the Reverend Kelly did write a full confession saying that he had done it, and that this shadow, like creature or entity, told him to do it, and that he felt like he was under possession, and that he wasn't himself, and that the axe was pretty much presented to him, and something about a door, mentioning a door, and yeah. But then later he recanted the entire confession. So I'm like, I don't know. That was a weird situation, but I don't know. We will never know. And I guess the shadow figure has been seen a few other times by people. So, I mean, I'm not saying that there's not bad energy there. Obviously, a horrific thing happened there. So, and I mean, that's going to bring in that negative energy. But I feel like if you set up guidelines before going in and just stating what you are wanting to interact with instead of just being open and willy-nilly with it, I think you're going to get a much better experience. Now, if you're wanting something scary and you're wanting that fear factor, then I guess do what you will, but understand demons, I know people think that they're inherently evil, but every spirit has that gray area. You know, they may be more morally gray than a lot of other spirits, but I still feel like if you respect them and you set the boundaries and guidelines, you only give them as much power as you allow them to take. And so we had a good night. I mean, we really did. It was really cool. And I think it was cool having that kind of experience that was so positive versus a lot of people that you see going into this house who have a very kind of negative experience. And there were pictures on the wall with people with scratches and stuff like that. And it's like, that's why you've got to kind of tell them, this is what I'm comfortable with. This is what I'm not comfortable with. You're not allowed to do these things. We are open to communication though, which I think really helped. And I think it does help going in with some protection, at least some kind of spirit guide to kind of ward off the really bad things, which I think works because I know Connor is a very powerful spirit, and I know my animal guides are a very powerful spirit. And it just was ironic that there was a cat there too, which I love cats. We recently just lost our cat, and cats are automatically associated with protection in a lot of different religions and like throughout history. So I definitely felt like he was there kind of watching over things as well. So yeah, that was kind of a wrap up of the experience that we had. I think that pretty much covers everything. Sorry, this video is going to be a little bit long, but it was really cool. We enjoyed ourselves. We'd definitely go back again. We're talking about our next adventure. We're not sure where it's going to be or when it's going to be, but definitely plan on going somewhere else again in the future. So if you liked the video, be sure to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and we will see you next time for another video. Stay witchy, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Can you touch the REM pod again one more time, please?